Hey guys, good morning and welcome aboard the beautiful Star of the Seas. We're here at the Pearl on deck 5, and in today's video, we're gonna be doing a ship tour of everything on Star of the Seas so you know exactly what to expect when you come on board Star. We're gonna start at the very bottom, work our way all the way up. So if you're excited, follow us. And remember, this is gonna take a while because it's a very, very big ship. So if you're interested in seeing something specific, just feel free to skip to that section. Those chapters will have them by time codes for you so you don't have to watch an hour-long video. Let's jump into it. Okay, so we're gonna be starting the tour on deck 3, as you can tell, because deck 2 is literally just the gangway area and it's not able to be accessed unless the gangway is actively open and allowing people to disembark. So let's start here on deck 3 and work our way up. So here's how the elevators on board work. You're just gonna pick whichever deck you'd like to go to and it'll tell you which one be. It'll light up, and if you're lucky enough for it to be there, it'll open up right away. Now, once you're on board the elevators, you cannot change which floor you're going to. It's already programmed into the elevator.
Deck 3.
So you better commit and make sure you get on the right one or you're just going for a ride.
Elevator F.
So here is our layout for deck 3. You're gonna start with the dining room, get to the elevator lobby, and then you have the conference center, the staterooms, the music hall, and then all the way up front, the only thing up there is the medical center. Now I'll show you the dining room on deck 5 so you can look down from the atrium and see all that. So let me just show you where the conference center is. Now currently, the conference center is being used on this inaugural sailing as the press room. But this is how you would get to the conference center. Turning around from the conference center straight ahead, that is main dining. And like I said, I will show you that on deck 5, but for now, let's keep moving. Now we do have to go all the way around to get to the music hall from here because there is no connection from the conference center. You have to walk around through the stateroom hallway and across to get to the music hall. So let's do that real quick. Something to take note of is just how long this hallway really is. So we're gonna start here, but as you'll see, this hallway appears to go on for what could be, or at least feel like, a quarter mile. Now I did leave all this footage in, but I sped it up. I just wanted you to see how long it's gonna take you to get from one end to the other end of the ship. And honestly, it's not end to end. We're just going from elevator lobby to elevator lobby. But it is a long, long way down these hallways. So if you're on mobility challenge, please bring your scooter. As we come to the lobby on the other end of the ship, this is where we'll find the music hall. This is just another venue where they hold live music on board, and that really is a thing on this ship. Recently, we sailed on an MSC ship and told you guys about how live music was everywhere. Well, this ship is no different. This ship has live music just about everywhere, especially when you're going through the promenade on deck 5 and then deck 6. So the music hall is a music venue. As you can see, they host live music here. It's just another stage for performers to come perform. When we were on board, the band that was here was phenomenal. And I love that it's this big and that it's 2 stories. So if you want to come watch some live music, you have that option. Typically they have them going on at nighttime, running late into the night. I mean, we had shows that went until midnight in this room. And this over here is how you get to the second floor of the music hall. From inside, there is access from deck 4 as well, I believe. And then across from the music hall, the very last thing to see on deck 3 is going to be the medical center. Obviously, we don't need medical treatment. We're not gonna go see the doc, but I'll just kind of show you, this is how you get to it. And it's right here. Here's something important to note. It tells you the consultation initially is $255. On the screen to my right, it actually flips through different slides, but this one says they start at $255. I just think it's something worth knowing. Here's our layout for deck 4. You have the Royal Theater, the second floor of the music hall, and the casino, flanked by staterooms, and in the very back is the second level of the main dining room. Here's the Royal Theater entrance to the first floor of it on deck 4. It's closed currently because they're rehearsing, but I will show you footage of that soon as we go see the show On Board, Star of the Seas, which is the Broadway musical Back to the Future. Across from the theater is the second level to the music hall, which we showed you. If you walk through the music hall, you can actually come out into Casino Royale. And the other way to get here is through the escalators on the Royal Promenade that say gangway, also brings you down here to Casino Royale. There are tons of tables and machines. And you come in off the escalator, that is where the bar area is. This is the exit that will take you to the escalators. And eventually it'll lead you to the dining room on this deck. Okay, so this is your layout for deck 5. As you can see, you have the fitness center. It takes up almost the entire front part of the ship. We'll head there first so you can see it. It's kind of a trek to get there. You then have the Royal Theater, and then you come around to the elevator lobby where you get into the Royal Promenade. We'll walk you all the way through the promenade, and then you're gonna see you have at the very back the main dining room, and there's actually 3 levels as we've talked about before. This is the last level of the main dining room. Now, something we want you guys to note is that the fitness center on board isn't like most of the other Royal Caribbean ships. Typically, they're with the spa, almost one and the same. Either the gym is above or below the spa. On this ship specifically, the gym is completely separate. The spa is all the way up on like deck 14, while the gym is on 5 and 6. So from the theater, you're gonna have to look around to the exit to where the walking, jogging track is. And you'll notice they do mark it. There's a sign here that says fitness center this way, but it's a little further away than you probably anticipated. So we're gonna walk outside to the jogging track. And as you can see by the sign, that's how we're gonna get to the fitness center. And it's down there. You can almost see it straight ahead now. It says fitness center, but the door is still around the corner. As you finally come around the corner, in the center of the ship, this is where the fitness center is, all the way up here, and this is how we get in if you wanted to get into the fitness center from deck 5. All right, if you're a fitness junkie, then this is your spot because this gym is epic. There are more machines, more cardio machines, just more options than even at the gym here near me. It is extremely impressive. Definitely the biggest and best equipped gym at sea, hands down. I mean, as we continue to pan around, you can see there's just people working out and it doesn't feel full at all. It just seems to go on for days and days. You have a good free weight area on both sides, a good selection of dumbbells, and then even more cardio machines on the other side, which is amazing. I mean, this gym is the best gym at sea, hands down. Now the fitness center does continue up these stairs to deck 6. What's really nice about this gym is the second floor is kind of dedicated to group spaces. You have that large room where you can come practice yoga either on your own or come take a yoga class. And there's also a spin room. Now there's a spin class going on, which is why we didn't film it for you, but just know if you're into spin class, they do have one of those. And then if you don't want to be in the class, as you saw across the way, there's bikes there as well for you to do that on your own. Now, I was super impressed by the gym on board because as you could see, it is huge. There are tons of machines, and not just machines, but I was impressed at the selection of free weight equipment on board. Typically, I don't see this much free weight equipment. This is probably larger than most small town local fitness clubs. So this is a really nice gym on board. Now let's continue our tour through the promenade. So we're back where we started with the Royal Theater in the elevator lobby, where there are 12 elevators. And let's go take a tour of the promenade on deck 5 and work our way aft towards the main dining room. So first thing we come to is this open area sitting right here. And you're gonna have your Solera beauty store on your right, your Effie shopping, Sorrento's Pizza, which is an included venue, so you don't have to pay for pizza at Sorrento's Pizza. And then across the way, you have Spotlight Karaoke. And currently they have this really neat backdrop since this is the inaugural sailing. I don't know if it'll always be here, but it might. Let's go into Spotlight Karaoke. So if you're either a karaoke star and you want to show off, or you just want to come watch some epic singers or maybe some epic fails, this is where you would come on board to enjoy karaoke on the Royal Promenade. And as you can see, it's huge, plenty of seating, a great spot. There is Bob, your friendly neighborhood automated floor cleaning robot. He even says, "Hi, I'm Bob." Okay, continuing on with the tour. As we work our way around, there is an ATM tucked over here if you needed cash for some reason. And then you have a kiosk here that's just outside of the Royal Shop, which I'll show you in a moment. And across from that is the collection. And this is where you can buy your fine purses and stuff like that. Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Kate Spade, stuff like that. Then you come to the Starbucks on board. This is normally packed. I'll show you footage of that here if you wait until it's breakfast time to come get a Starbucks. So you do have a kiosk here where they do sell stuff throughout the day. And that brings you to the Royal Shop. And they have a ton of merch on board this ship. It's completely stocked with just about anything you think of, from teddy bears to backpacks, 4 or 5 different types of tumblers, challenge coins, all sorts of stuff. Now, it's closed right now, but I'm just showing you. It's a really nice selection. And remember, the shop is all of Royal Caribbean's themed stuff. They even have the Messi jersey for their partnership with the football club. Tons and tons of options here. Then we come to the star attraction. This is Star of the Seas' Pearl. If you don't know what the Pearl is, it's the centerpiece on the promenade. It's the largest kinetic structure at sea. As you can see, it kind of feels like it ebbs and flows, and it's the motion of the ocean that's helping this move. But it's a really cool feature. I don't know if the camera's even doing it justice, but those panels are moving inside. The lights change colors. It's a really neat little dealio here. And the Icon class ships have this. This is a feature that was first revealed with Icon of the Seas. The photo gallery is going to be behind the Pearl. So if you're wanting to go look for your photos, you don't want to use the app because you can look at your photos in the app. You have a little seating area, and then behind it is where the focus gallery is. And this is where the people can help you with your pictures right here at this desk. It doesn't look like the other photo galleries where you have the screens and the kiosk. Across from the Pearl, you're gonna have the exit to the gangway and the 1400 lounge or bar. So what's really neat on board these ships, they actually have escalator systems to take you down to the gangway. Sweeping around, we're gonna come to 1400 bar. This is just another unique lounge. 1400 is one of the newer concepts. It is not on many other ships at all, but it's a really neat themed bar. As we leave 1400, right across the way, you're going to have guest services over there. If you don't need guest services, next to guest services is going to be the Thorn and Thistle. This is the English pub on board. And every single night, you're gonna have live music. You can get your beer on tap here. Some cocktails, not a huge selection of liquor that they have, but it is a neat spot to come hang out, and it's very much themed like all of the other English pubs on board the Royal ships. And there's your stage for your performer in the corner. Now, one thing about this ship is there are statues everywhere. Amy's been trying to film and take pictures of them all. So to show you, this is just one of them. Next to the Thorn and Thistle is the Crown and Anchor Society, or your loyalty ambassador area. This is where you could come meet with them. This is actually a massive office. So if you're not part of Royal Caribbean's loyalty program, that is Crown and Anchor. It's free to join, and then this is where you would come join and talk to them about it if you were interested while on board, or if you had a question about your loyalty status, you could talk to them here as well. Highly recommend joining. You get benefits as you move up the tier. It costs nothing to do. And if you're planning on sailing more than a few times, you'll actually start to get some decent benefits out of it. Next to guest services is the port merchants. This is where a lot of the alcohol and rum cakes, things like that, are going to be sold on board. Remember, they're all duty free. Then the watch area is going to be right here. It's called the Pavilion 5. And you can see all the watches are kind of like in a showcase. And during hours when shopping is available, there'll be an attendant here. So if you're interested in watch shopping, you can come here, pick a watch, and they'll open up the case, let you try it on, or you can purchase it right here. And then last but not least is the main dining room. So we're going to walk through the elevator lobby straight ahead to the main dining room. So this is the top floor of the dining room on deck 5. There's 2 more decks below it, as you can see here from the atrium. Now, it is a very elegant dining room, but it is huge, as you can see. But this sits over 6,500 people if it needed to, as they rotate them through 2 separate dining sections. But I was really impressed at the layout. It flowed well. You weren't having to squeeze by tables like you have to on some of the other ships. And it looks really, really nice. So shout out to Royal. And that's everything on deck 5. So let's go ahead and head on up to deck 6. This is our layout for deck 6. As you can see, this is the second floor of the fitness center. You have the Crown Lounge, the escape room, and then we get to like the area that opens up to the Royal Promenade. So you'll have your dueling pianos, the attic, Central Park stairwell, the Pearl Cafe, Giovanni's, Schooner Bar, and then of course Adventure Ocean, Social, and then Absolute Zero, which is their new ice skating show area. So directly off the elevator atrium is where the Crown Lounge and the Royal Escape Room is. And the Crown Lounge is currently closed. As it says, the inaugural sailing, they're using this public space too. So we can't get in there, but that is where the Crown Lounge is on board this ship. Let's go walk towards the Royal Promenade. As you come out, they have a cool little area here. You can see it looks like there's characters moving and singing and dancing in the windows. You can take pictures here, like that popular thing that was just going on with ChatGPT where people make themselves look like dolls. Here's a way to do that. To the right, you have the comedy club, and this is where it is. This is the entrance. It feels like you're walking into like a comedy club downtown through a back alley at a large city, which is kind of neat with all the street art. Now the comedy club is known as the Addict. It's also currently closed as they're cleaning it. Across from the comedy club and this guy doing a handstand on the wall is gonna be one of the most popular places on board that is constantly packed once it's open, the Dueling Pianos Bar. And while this is a very large space, it also fills up very quickly. So this is a really neat venue. It's packed every single night. People are in here enjoying the dueling piano vibe, where you have currently a male and female vocalist dueling against each other with music. You can make a request, you can give them tips, and then everyone sings along, has drinks from the bar. It's packed. Literally, the reason the bar is open on the other side is people are literally standing outside the bar out here trying to listen and get in. This is a venue you're gonna wanna get to early if you're interested in seeing the dueling pianos, at least if you want a seat. As we continue around, we're gonna come to Giovanni's, and this ship does not have a vintages, but instead the wine bar is here with Giovanni's as well. So this is Giovanni's, the Italian specialty dining restaurant on board. This is what it looks like. And this is not an included venue. You will have to pay extra to come eat at Giovanni's, but it is a nice restaurant if it's something that you were wanting to try, you want a paid experience for some Italian food. And this is the wine bar on board. So if you were wanting to come try different wines, this would be the place to go. Just come have a few drinks and try different wines. You can do wine flights, all sorts of stuff right here. And you can sit at the little bar over there, have a great view of the Pearl. And then after Giovanni's, we come to the Schooner Bar, which I'm somewhat torn about. This does not look like your typical schooner bar. Most of the other schooner bars are very nautical themed, and it feels like you're in a ship. And yeah, there is some rigging and sails, or what appears to be, could have been sails, but that's really it as far as the nautical theme goes. Everything else is very modern, contemporary, sleek. It just doesn't have the same feel as the other schooner bars, but the schooner bar is always one of the most popular bars on Royal Caribbean ships. So this is where it's at if you're wondering, on deck 6. As we work all the way around, since it is separated by the promenade, on this side you have Boleros, which is your Spanish lounge, obviously. There is a bar here, and there's live music going on here. Often, obviously, it's Latin music. You have a dance floor, and then a bunch of seating for this lounge. So you'll have live music here. You'll have live music at the schooner bar. You'll have live music over in Dueling Pianos. And then also between Dueling Pianos and Giovanni's, there's a little stage that overlooks the promenade right next to Starbucks, just above it and to the left. And that's where the live band will be as well. So live music is a very big thing on this ship. As we come around, this is where the Voom desk is actually tucked away and hidden on the back side of Boleros. So if you're having issues with your internet or needed to adjust your internet package, this is where you would come. And then over here with the awesome turtle statues, behind the top of the Pearl, you have the Pearl Cafe. The Pearl Cafe is a 24-hour place to get food. It is currently open 24 hours a day. So you can come get snacks or quick bites, whether it's breakfast sandwiches, dinner sandwiches, desserts, anything like that, 24 hours a day. Around the corner is where you're gonna get your coffee and juices. And on this ship, it is all touchless. You just put your hand in front of the sensor with your drink underneath it. It'll dispense it. Something that I've noticed is that when you come somewhere to get coffee, like here, we could come get coffee. They only have options for whole milk. Some places might have skim milk as well, like the Central Park area. However, there is no creamer option. So if you normally take creamer, whether it's half and half, whole cream, heavy whipping cream, they don't have any of that here. So the only place I found that does have that is gonna be the main dining room and the Windjammer. You also have a freestyle soda machine here. If you did buy a package that includes soda, you could get that here. Let's finish our tour of Deck 6, working our way back towards Boleros. But in the meantime, check out this really cool School of Fish sculpture chasing the two turtles as we go to the Pearl. As we get to the elevator lobby, on the aft end of Deck 6 is Adventure Ocean, Absolute Zero, and the Surfside Neighborhood Playmakers. So we'll show you all that now. Here's Adventure Ocean. Let's go check that out. So if you're unfamiliar with Adventure Ocean, this is their kids program on board. Most of it is free except for the really, really tiny kids. Under 3, you do have to pay an hourly rate. And this is what it looks like on the junior section over here. So this is the 3 to 5 area. And I was super impressed. Just the size of this thing is incredible. They have a huge interactive screen that they can play on. A little playground with slides inside, like their own fort here, which is awesome. It's kind of built to look like a submarine that's exploring the ocean. And then there's craft tables on the other side, hopscotch, sinks their size so they can stay clean, toys, cubbies for them to put their stuff in so it doesn't get lost. I mean, this is an epic space for these kids. Our daughter would have loved it. Now, like I said, if they're under 3, you do have to pay, but let's check out that area. On this ship, it's called Adventure Ocean Babies. And as we come in and we come to check it out, you can see they have quite a bit of stuff in here for them. It's just not as big because there's going to be less kids there. So they do have age-appropriate toys. They typically have a show playing that's appropriate for that age range. But what I loved when our daughter was younger was that they have this crib area too. They have a high chair. They will change diapers. So if your kid gets fussy, needs to go down for a nap, they can do that for you, which is just awesome. You know that you can leave them there. They'll be okay. And something you may not have known is all of the Adventure Ocean workers need to have a bachelor's degree in either teaching or childhood education, something along that line. So you're not just handing your kid off to just anybody. Now this is the area for kids older than 5. So you can see there's tons of TVs and video game stations. They have an entire craft workshop. and it looks awesome. They just have so many things for these kids to do here. There's no way they're gonna be bored. They can paint, they can build stuff, they can make crafts, they can draw just in the craft studio. Like I said, on the other side, you're gonna have all the different interactive video games. And then there's yet another room that are only on these Icon class ships. You're gonna have to see it. It's almost too good to be true. These kids are gonna love it on the ship. So right before we go into that room, you do have one more area with an interactive game table and a foosball table. And these are just touchscreen tables, like giant tablets from the play. But check out this area called the Arena. So this is a place for them to come run around, let loose, go crazy, play Connect 4. They have an indoor soccer pitch right here, goal set up and everything. And as if that wasn't crazy enough, there's also an indoor hockey rink right there. I was like blown away at the space they've dedicated to that for these kids to run around and play. Brilliant. And then last but not least, you do have the Adventure Ocean Theater, where they host shows and movies for the kids. Then across from Adventure Ocean, we have Playmakers and Absolute Zero, as well as the Park West area. And this is one of the smallest Park West we've ever seen. And it's interesting because this is the largest ship we've ever been on. But that is the entire art gallery there. You walk through yet another shop called 6th and Main. And that brings you to Playmakers. Now remember, this is the entrance to Absolute Zero. And I really think this is the only thing I haven't enjoyed about the ship, because when you have a ton of people funneling in and out of the show, trying to weave their way through Playmakers, you can see this is not a huge alleyway. While this is a huge Playmakers, which is their sports bar, as you can see, there's all sorts of games on the TV, all the different sports channels. You also have pool tables behind me, arcade games, foosball tables, and people are playing in here, eating in here. It's packed, pool sticks are flying, air hockey, and you're trying to squeeze several thousand people in and out of Absolute Zero, and it just didn't work well in our opinion. But this is really the only complaint I have. So here's Absolute Zero. Let's go check out the stadium. This is a completely new layout. If you've sailed on the other classes of Royal Caribbean ships with ice rinks on board, they call theirs Studio B. The Icon class ships have Absolute Zero, and it is a round skating rink. And this show is really cool. It's called Soul. It is very unique, and they have some new elements we've never seen on board. And there are a lot of tricks we had never seen before either. So we'll show you some footage of that now. So after the show, most people end up walking up these stairs, like I said, and then you're coming back through Playmaker. So you're funneling everybody from the stadium up these stairs and into Playmakers. And the last thing is the Surfside neighborhood. So let's go ahead and head out there. First thing you're greeted with is this huge statue of a watermelon and a flamingo. You also have a neat photo opportunity over here with giant sandals, a pail of sand, and a floaty ring there. And you have to actually go up these stairs to get to Surfside from deck 6, or you can come down from deck 7 or Central Park. This is the Surfside neighborhood. The first thing you come to on your right is the arcade. And I've been known to be critical about the sizes of arcades on these ships. Some of them are just pitiful, but this one is a really good size. There's tons of options that you can see and a ton of different types of games, not just multiples of the same game. And it's not just claw machine money makers. There are a few of those, but most of it is actually an arcade. So if you're looking for something to do with your kid a little different, switch it up, maybe in the inside, there you go. As we come out of the arcade, staying right, we're gonna have Sugar Beach, which is the candy shop on board. It's currently closed because we are up early filming for you guys. But you can see it really is a candy shop in there. Across from Sugar Beach is going to be the carousel. This is free. Next to that, we have the kids climber. As you can see, definitely upgraded from the Oasis class ships. Completely different. Got a slide in it, which is really nice. Then we have this seating area for the few restaurants like Surfside Bites that are out here and Pier 7. The last thing on the right-hand side is Pier 7, which is a restaurant on board. Then we come to the Surfside splash pad, which is similar to Splashaway Bay on some of the And then on the aft, you just have a lounging area to hang out, watch the wake and the sun go by. Enjoy the beautiful wake view. Now let's go down the other side of Surfside. So if you are a parent and your kids are playing here, you can see they have seating set up for you to watch the kids, which is a really great idea, so you don't have to worry about where to stand or where to sit to be able to see your child. Across from that is the Lemon Porta Bar. And then the same seating area on this side. And then you do have the small kid area, the baby bay as they call it, which is really cute. So if your kids aren't potty trained or they're really small, they have their own play space too. Benches inside for the parents to sit at. And then of course you have an infinity pool at the rear, overlooking the wake view underneath the giant crown and anchor. Something I want you guys to notice is that the Aqua Theater is no longer on the rear of the ship like it was on the Oasis class ships. It is now inside in a brand new area for the Icon class ships called the Aqua Dome, and that's going to be on a much higher deck, and we'll show you that in just a little bit. Just past the Lemon Port Bar, you have your drink station, and then you come to the Surfside Bites. So this is a place where you can grab some snacks or lunch right here on the Surfside without having to travel all the way to either a restaurant or the Windjammer. This is an included eatery, and there are tables and chairs set up all across the way from here. all the way looking back towards Pier 7 and eventually the Surfside Splashaway Bay over there. Just past the Surfside Eatery, or the Surfside Bites, is Sprinkles. This is where you get your free ice cream, your soft serve on board. It's open many hours throughout the day and you can get it there. And then last but not least on this side, you have the Surfside Eatery. This is another included venue that you could come eat at. And we'll show you what that looks like now. So as you can see, a lot of the food options here are going to be geared towards kids. As you'll see, they even have a hot dog covered in macaroni and cheese. And this is breakfast time, but I feel like my daughter would choose that anyway. Next to all of the food choices, you are gonna have a nice seating area, and it's actually pretty big. And if the weather's nice outside or there's a nice breeze, there's also the outdoor seating area that you saw as we were walking up to the Surfside Eatery. So this is a great included dining option out here on Surfside. And then from Surfside, leaving the Surfside Eatery, we come to Deck 7, because remember, we walked up from Deck 6 to get to Surfside. So let's go inside and check out Deck 7. Here's your layout for Deck 7. You have the Surfside neighborhood we just toured and came from. Everything else is going to be staterooms. On Deck 7, there are no other public spaces, so let's head on up to Deck 8. Here's our layout for Deck 8. You're gonna have these staterooms that wrap around Surfside. Those are balconies overlooking Surfside area. The last little bit of Surfside, there's one shop up here, that's it. And then we get into staterooms and Central Park. And finally, the all-new Lincoln Park Supper Club at the front. So let's go through Central Park and work our way towards Lincoln Park. Now remember, all of the plants on board in Central Park are real plants and they're live. Now, because the plants are real, Royal Caribbean has recently made a major change that you can no longer hide ducks in Central Park. And there are actually signs here, I just found one to show you, that says, please help protect the plants. This is a duck-free zone. One of the first things you'll come to in Central Park is Regalia, which is your watches. You can see all your watches in here, your tags, your Breitlings, Omegas, and then the Regalia jewelry next to it. Across the way is Lou's. So Lou's is a jazz club on board, a live music club and bar venue that you can come to. And it's right here in Central Park, so yet another option for live music and drinks. Something Amy wants you guys to note is that on the Icon class ships, all of the balconies in Central Park are the new infinite balconies other than the very top deck, which does have actual balconies. But as you can see, all these windows, that top pane drops down, and that's what creates a balcony, but it's also what lets all the humidity into your room. So almost every single balcony other than that top row is an infinite balcony on board these Icon class ships in Central Park. From Lou's and Regalia, we'll work our way down. The next thing we're gonna come to is the Park Cafe. The Park Cafe is a free eatery that is included with your fare. So if you're staying somewhere near Deck 8, you don't want to go to the Windjammer or one of the restaurants, you can come in here. Good morning. So Park Cafe is known as one of those places to get healthier options. As you can see, there's tons of chopped fruit, there's parfaits, there are some danishes and pastries, but this one specifically has a bagel bar, which I thought was really cool. You can come here, order whatever type of bagel you want with whatever kind of toppings, and you can get it all there. You also have the option to use the unlimited soda package right there. You have a seating area inside, and outside as well. And then you have your typical coffee station. And this is also another included venue. So if you're on deck 8, great place to get food. Continuing on, you're gonna come to an entrance that'll take you down to the Royal Promenade. So this entrance actually takes you down and around, and you're gonna come out behind the Pearl Cafe on deck 6 if you come through this doorway here. As we come around, this is where Azumi's is on these ships. And what's really cool is they actually have a takeaway window now. So you can come to the sushi and ice cream sign and get your sushi to go, which is really, really neat. And they've rebranded it slightly to Azumi in the park. The entrance to Azumi's is actually tucked away over here in the corner. So Azumi's in the park is really focusing on the hibachi setup. As you can see, almost all of the tables are hibachi, with very few dine-in tables if you're not doing hibachi. Leaving Azumi's, the last few things that we haven't seen in Central Park are the trellis bar right here. And then from the trellis bar, we're gonna come to Chops Grill. Now remember, Azumi's and Chops are both paid experiences. They are not included. So let's go check it out. So if you didn't know, Chops Grill is the American steakhouse style restaurant on board, offering finer cuts of meat. So if you're looking for a place to get a really nice steak, even a tomahawk steak, they offer all that on board. And this is where you would go. However, it is not an included experience. You do have to pay more to come to this specialty dining restaurant. And then the last thing on deck 8 that's a public space is going to be the Lincoln Park Supper Club, which is a high-end supper club experience. And obviously this is not included. You do have to pay extra to come here. This is the sister to the Empire Supper Club on Icon, and it's a really small venue. So if you're wanting to come here, you're gonna need to make reservations very early. So something you can notice is that this is a very small and intimate venue. There are not many tables and chairs here. This is a very exclusive, private style experience, very high end, but you're gonna pay high end prices for it too. But it looks really nice. And like I said, this is all new. This is the sister to the Empire Supper Club on Icon. So as you can tell by the sign, decks 9 through 12 are all going to be staterooms only. There are no public spaces. On deck 12, the only public space we're going to get to is going to be the spa, and that's going to encompass decks 12 and 14. There is no deck 13 on this ship. So let's go show you the spa. So while there is an entrance on 12 to the Vitality Spa, it also reminds you that this is not the main entrance. If you're checking in for a treatment, it would be on deck 14. So this level of spa is the treatment area where you'll see your beds, so you can get couples massages, your cooling or heating beds. They also have this really cool rock bed that vibrates and it moves around. And then as we move upstairs to the main level, that's where they have even more. You have your thermal suite, and this thermal suite is really nice. The MSC ship we were just on only had a couple of these warming chairs. These chairs were awesome, and you can see there's plenty of them here, and they feel good. They actually got hot, which was really nice. Right next to that is a shower. You can come in, get all that nasty sweat and stuff off you once you're done sweating in here, which was really cool. You have that rain shower head over you, and as you come back out of the shower, you can pass the chairs and go over to the steam room or the sauna. And let me tell you, that thing is steamed up. You'll see as soon as I open this door, the camera fogs. It was incredible. But you can see there's plenty of seating in there, so you're not gonna have a problem with that either. Across the way from the lobby, you do have a nail salon, a hair salon. You can come in here and get manicures, pedicures, perms, your hair dyed, whatever you're looking for, makeup done. And then for the gentlemen, just outside of this area, they also have a barber shop, which I thought was pretty cool to have a dedicated barber shop on board. I don't know that I would come on here to get a haircut, but if you're needing it, they have it right here for you. Across the way is also the Vitality Cafe, where you can come get your smoothies and your protein shakes. As you guys can see, the spa is up front here, and everything else on this deck is staterooms except for the overlook, but the access to the overlook is actually one deck up. So let's head there. So here's your layout for deck 15. You have the hideaway, the windjammer, and then you move into Chill Island, which is really your pool areas, and then the aquadome up front. So let's go toward the windjammer. We're gonna start and work our way all the way around this, and it is huge. There are tons of options, and it's actually mirrored on both sides of the lobby. So you can go left or right and have the exact same food choices. This is the breakfast selection. As you can see, it goes on and on. Pretty much, if you can think about it, they have it on the menu. And I'm gonna speed this up here so that we can actually make it through this in a decent amount of time. But you can see there's tons of seating. It just goes on and on. It wraps around the back here by these cool milkshake statues. And then we come out to the exact same thing on the other side. There's plenty of ways to get food here. There's bars to get drinks or coffee in the morning. So definitely come check out the Windjammer. All the food was good and it's included. Turning around from the Windjammer, we have Chill Island. Chill Island is where the main pools are. It's also where you're gonna find things like El Loco Fresh, the very popular included Mexican spot on board. Come through here, get your burritos, your tacos, your nachos, and then you can get your salsas at one of two salsa bars now. Unlike the Oasis class ships, you have that one and then this one over here as well, which is really nice. Tons of seating here at El Loco Fresh, and right behind it is a hot tub. There is also a lounging area right here looking across. There's no pool on this side of the ship. You do get great views of Central Park from here though. And then as we continue around, we will come to the pool area. What's really nice about the pool area is that you have loungers in the water, and there is quite a bit of shallow pool area all the way around. And then you have the main pool, and there is a ton of seating. Now the pool isn't the largest pool you've ever been to, but on this sailing, we have been able to find chairs or a lounger every single time we've been out here. You do have the towel station right here across from the pool. And if you wanted to go to Thrill Island, you could take these stairs straight that way, and we'll show you that in just a second. Let's finish our tour of deck 15. So as you can see, tons of loungers and tons of space here at the pool. There's also multiple hot tubs on this side as well. There are multiple showers like this throughout the pool deck. And then that brings us to really the last thing here before we go back to the Aquadome. You have the lime and coconut bar on this deck and one more lime and coconut on the next deck above us, which we will show you on that deck. So let's start with the brand new Aquadome. This is what replaced the Aqua Theaters from the Oasis class ships. It is now inside because it gives them more ability to do different and unique things. So here is the Aquadome where they do their water show. There's divers, dancers, aerialists, acrobats, all sorts of neat things. And believe it or not, there are divers diving from all the way up there. Right behind the Aquadome is Bling, and this is where you can get Royal Caribbean jewelry. And if you'll remember when Icon first sailed, they had a chalice that was diamond studded that you could buy to get the unlimited drink package for life. There's also a neat photo opportunity with the throne in there if that's something that you're interested in. Across the way from Bling is going to be Hooked Seafood. This is the seafood restaurant on board. We'll take you in there now. This is a specialty dining restaurant and not included in your fare. And then continuing around the Aquadome from Hooked, we get to the area called the Overlook. The Overlook is a new area for the Icon class, and you have a lot of neat areas to lounge and sit at while overlooking the ocean from the front of the ship. This kind of is where the solarium used to be on a lot of the other ships, if you'll remember. So the Overlook is a super popular spot on board. Right now it doesn't look like it because this is early morning, but this is a great place to come relax, hang out, and get some great views of the ocean through this huge domed window style front they have here. It's beautiful and very relaxing. To get to it, remember you have to go behind the Aquadome. That's how you're gonna get here. It's somewhat hidden, but what a great spot. Tons of different types of chairs and loungers to relax at. It is really a perfect spot for this and a great replacement for the solarium up front with the hideaway out back now. And as we leave the Overlook coming up, you have Ryan Bean, which is a coffee and whiskey bar over here. This is a unique experience on Icon and on Star currently, likely to be on Legend. And then the last thing we're going to come to is going to be the Aquadome Market. The Aquadome Market is another included option for dining. However, this is going to be some of your healthier dining options. Restaurants in here include Creme de la Crepe, Mai Tai, Pig Out, Feta Mediterranean, and La Cocinita. Now, all of this is free and included as well. So you can come here for lunch or dinner and get any of these items included with your fare. Now, we tried the barbecue, the crepes, and the Thai place, and honestly, it was all pretty good. but I feel like the crepes were the standout here. Just a really neat addition on these ships. There isn't a ton of seating in the Aquadome market. This is most of it, and then there's just a bar looking out the window all the way down, and then a very small seating area on the other end. Here's your layout for deck 16. You're gonna have the Hideaway and the Flow Riders at the very back, along with the water park and the Thrill Island area, Deserted, which is a milkshake bar. Then you come forward to Chill Island, which overlooks the rest of Chill Island, the second story of the Lime and Coconut Bar, and then finally the Sweet Neighborhood and Coastal Kitchen. Now, Coastal Kitchen is right here, and it is an included dining option, but only if you are staying in a suite and sometimes Pinnacle, depending on how many Pinnacles are on board. So this is Chill Island on deck 16. You can only come out and go right. But up here you do get another pool and another hot tub, as well as a swim up bar called the Swim and Tonic. You also have Royal Caribbean's casitas that you can rent here. Like I said, it's really just a shaded area. On other tours we've talked about, there's no fans, nothing like that. It's not like a cabana you would get, but you do have a cooler in there, and you do have some nice shade and a lounger. You can see you can overlook some of the hot tubs and the rest of Chill Island, or overlook the sea if you so choose. And then up here on the left is the stage where the live band will be playing music, and at certain times there's also a slide here to take you down to deck 15. And then this is the second floor of the Lime and Coconut Bar. And this is where you can get the mixed drinks. You can see they have the different flavors, and you can mix any of the flavors of the frozen drinks you want to make your own concoction. As you can see, there's plenty of space to lounge up here, plenty of chairs. You'll likely not have a problem on Star finding somewhere to lounge if that's what you're wanting to do. There are just so many spaces, so many options. As you look across, it's just a sea of chairs. Then you have the Crown's Edge over here. You can see the staff testing the track right now, making sure everything works perfectly. We actually did that, and we'll put some of that footage up here for you. So it's an obstacle course at sea, suspended above the sea floor. You walk the plank, you get dropped, then you go around the Crown and Anchor logo, and then just glide into home base here. A really cool experience. As we continue around, you get to Adrenaline Peak, their rock climbing wall. And then we get to Base Camp. Base Camp is another bar area where you can lounge, get away from all the hustle and bustle, and sit in the shade, have some drinks, and try to cool off, as well as get some small bites to eat and some snacks. Then we come to Lost Dunes. Lost Dunes is the mini golf course, or putt-putt golf course, here on board Star of the Seas. If you wanted to get to the sports courts, this is one of the ways up there. As you can tell, it's right above us. Then you have the water park with 6 water slides. So instead of a solarium on board these ships, they have the hideaway, an adults only area. So this is the hideaway. You start off with 2 hot tubs, a lounge area, and then down these steps you have your infinity pool and the hideaway bar. And then the other side has the stadium seating style lounger area overlooking the ocean, and those steps that you saw will take you back up out of the hideaway. From the hideaway, we turn around, we can continue and now go explore the water park area over here with the category 6 water slides. So let's go find them. Here we'll come to our first water slides, the Frightening Bolt and the Storm Chaser here at category 6. As we come this way, we will get to the Flow Rider. The Flow Rider is their simulated surfing station. It's off right now. We'll put some footage here of me trying to do this. Let's continue on out to the rest of the water park. Then you have your slides, Hurricane Hunter and Storm Surge and Pressure Drop there. And they all take you up there. Storm Surge and Hurricane Hunters are 2 tube slides or raft slides meant for multiple people. You have to weigh less than 595 pounds combined in the raft. And that is all of Chill Island. The only thing that we didn't show you, which we'll go cut through now, is we'll cut through the lobby to get to the other exit on the other side and show you Deserted. And then right here as you come out is Deserted, the milkshake bar. Due to it being so early, it is not open, but this is where you could come get milkshakes if that interested you. And then our layout for deck 17, you're gonna have stairs that take you down to Thrill Island next to the sports courts that I showed you on 16. Then you're gonna see more stairs down to Thrill Island, Cloud 17, which is the smoking area, the Lime and Coconut, a small pool, and then the Sweet Neighborhood. Let's go check that out. So let's head to the sports courts out here on deck 17. So the sports courts, they obviously have volleyball, basketball, and pickleball, as you can see, and sometimes soccer out here as well. Now, the pickleball players out here did tell us that even though there were walls like on the Oasis class ships, when they were moving, there was a lot of wind here still due to it being so high and the nets above it allowing it through, which made it kind of hard. On the other side of deck 17 is Cloud 17. And what's really nice about this is a designated smoking area on board the ship. So those of you smokers that don't want to just hang out in the casino the whole time, this is where you can come smoke right here on Cloud 17. And I thought this was a genius addition by Royal. Give smokers a place to smoke without feeling guilty, and no one else has to deal with it. From Cloud 17, you do come to the lime and coconut hangout area and small pool, which we will show you now. Is the final section of the lime and coconut, which has been going over 3 decks now. And then the lime and coconut pool. So this is a nice hidden gem pool that you may have missed if you weren't specifically on deck 17 looking for it. And if you are staying in a suite, you do have access straight to your suite neighborhood right here, which is pretty sweet. All right, guys, well, that tops it off. Literally, we've taken you all the way from the bottom deck of this ship, all the way through the top deck, seeing the sports courts and Cloud 17 smoking area. Hopefully this video has been helpful to help you understand the layout and what you can expect on board Star of the Seas. If it has been helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. We appreciate you guys so much. As always, remember, you can use the QR code here to have Amy book the perfect cruise on the perfect itinerary for you, maybe even aboard the brand new Star of the Seas. As always, we appreciate you so much, and we will see you guys on the next one.